All right. Good evening, everyone. This is a special segment of the cold hard truth, I suppose. Just me taking an opportunity to address a few things that have been happening this week. Boy, has this been an amazing week in so many different respects. To have an individual exposed in my inner circle who appears to not really be a friend at all has been a blessing in disguise. It's very, very important for me to live in truth, honesty, and integrity. And it's also important for me to surround myself with people who also share those core principles. And when they don't, um, I can't have that person in my inner circle. They become an acquaintance. And so I'm still processing that situation, but I am grateful for the very bold individual who came forward and shared the information that they did with me. And it's a lot that I'm having to take in. And this poor person suffered mental distress hearing some of the things that were actually being said because this person was trying to put the fear of God or the fear of you're going to lose your job, the fear of all these sorts of consequences in this individual. And so that has been a lot to process. Then this evening, a lot of you probably got this headline. This, again, it's so crazy that people can pen this stuff and don't even have the cojones to put their name to it. I don't take anything seriously that people can't put their name to. If I have something to say about someone, if I'm going to call someone out, if I'm going to call an issue out, you can hear it in my voice. You can hear my reasoning. You can hear my logic. And then you can question that. You can come after me, whatever. Someone has put out this thing that's circulating on WhatsApp called the damaging impact of Cayman Mall Road on the community of the Cayman Islands. It is no coincidence that this is going out the very day that the Tower Marketing Report becomes public and is available for all to see, that has now placed us, Cayman Mall Road, in the number one position over the compass. And trust me when I say to you, on the one hand, this is an amazing feat, it's an amazing accomplishment, and you would wish that all of your Caymanians, especially, would be happy for you. The entire community would be happy for you, but that isn't going to be the case. You know that you're going to have haters now, like, oh my God, here is a reputable company, right? Tower Marketing must be 20 plus years of working in this community. They've been doing these surveys for God knows how long. I don't even know. And they have done a survey with people in this community, and those people have said, when asked the question, name your top three news sources, they put CMR in the lead by some 8%. And that's coming from behind last year. And in the space of a year, we have not only overtaken the compass, but we have actually exceeded that and the lead by 8%. So there's a lot of people, I can tell you, that are not happy with this at all. It's one of those situations where they're like, oh my God, we can't have CMR crowned as the leading news source in this community. A lot of you already knew that. You said that to me today. You've already felt for a long time that that was the case. You guys know the deal. Most of you are not going around picking up a compass anymore, even now that it's free. The stacks of newspapers are still there. But it is the very thought in the minds of certain people in this community, mostly elite, but some who are just plain haters, some of our own people, some of our own Caymanians who, never saw the vision that I had almost 8 years ago, never saw Cayman Mall Road going anywhere. They wanted this to be an abject failure. And now that it's proven to be otherwise, it brings out a certain amount of hate in the community. It doesn't bother me. And you know why? Because anybody can be anonymous. I must say, I'm going to give them credit. It's actually well written. This is someone who is intellectually capable, and they should be using their time to make some contributions to the educational system, which is in a dire situation in this country, as opposed to writing this long message about, CMR is so horrible. There's a storm brewing, dissemination of inaccurate information. 97% of what we put out there is 100% accurate. And that has been from day one. If it don't go so, it go close to so. We've never claimed to ever be 100% accurate. But I can tell you there's a lot of stories that we have broken. And this actually reminds me of when the Compass and CNS have had to come back and refer to our reports of things that happen in this community. Well, according to CMR, because they didn't want to take the flack on it, they didn't have the source on it, but we had the source. According to CMR, the off-reg board was fighting and blah, 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 blah. Well, CMR was 100% accurate. And this has been happening for years now. Talking about fostering a culture of media literacy. How about you focus on fostering a culture of literacy in this country? That would be amazing because our children are failing. They can't read, they can't write, they can't do their arithmetic. That is what you need to focus on. But what you going to do? Absolutely nothing. So, folks, I've seen the message. It has zero impact on me. I don't really care because you, the people, know how incredibly impactful this platform has been for you. We get more phone calls, we solve more issues, whether it's issues with government, with private individuals, landlords and tenants. The government can't fix the landlord and tenancy law. They can't protect your children from sexual molesters. There's so many things that are falling through the cracks and simply not getting done. And they have time to focus on, oh, it's all Cayman Mall Road's fault. Cayman Mall Road is tearing apart this community. And, you all have to demand accountability and ethical conduct from its media outlets. That's so funny and ironic because just on Friday, I was saying that we need to demand accountability and ethical conduct from our elected officials, namely from our ministers. And you know what the position of some of you are? I don't care about that. That's what some of you called in and said. I'm not concerned about that. I don't care about that. That's none of my business. That's his personal business. Who cares? So you don't care about you've never written any dribble about the accountability and morality and integrity and ethical conduct of the leaders of this country. But you're worried about Cayman Mall Road as though we are the premier of this country, as though we have such power. And this is precisely what it comes down to, folks. Read between the lines. Nobody takes the time, nobody of this intellectual level would take the time to write this foolishness if they don't feel there's a real and imminent threat. And you know what the real and imminent threat is actually all about? It is about Cayman Mall Road being the voice of the average person on the street, requesting accountability of our elected officials, requesting accountability and ethical conduct of our civil servants. In fact, demanding accountability from the RCIPS, from the courts, from even the guys sitting on the side of the street, smoking and drinking on the job, saying that's not right. That's not a good image for us as Caymanians. No, there are people, and the vast majority of you I know don't fall into this category, but there's still people in this community who wish to have that continue to be the narrative. They don't want any real accountability. That's just lip service. That's just a word that come election time, they'll throw around in order to get your vote. You see, on Friday and Monday show, we talked about holding our MPs and our elected officials to a different standard. We talked about anybody wanting to run for public office know that their foot is going to be put to the fire, that their history is going to be called into question. What have you achieved? What have you done? Who are you? What do you represent? Right? And I can tell you the vast majority of them are not prepared to have that type of, dissection of who they are as a candidate. It's just too much. And so somebody said to me over the weekend, Sandy, in the upcoming election, you are going to be at the table of determining who is going to form this government. And we want you at our table. And we know that other people are going to be courting you, and we're asking you to not make any decisions. This is what this is really all about. Whoever penned this is about trying their best before the 2025 election. And they did it last time. I heard all sorts of rumors. Oh, they're going to buy you out before the election and this and that. This is what this is all about. Someone, my apologies, a group of people, quite frankly, want to try to undermine CMR so that they think that going into the election, we're going to be impotent and that the people will not have their voices heard. Folks, my fellow Caymanians, I can assure you that that is not going to be the case. The compass is all up in arms today because this information has gone out. They don't have anything to really worry about. They have a legacy of 50 years of people supporting them no matter what they do. Let me be very, very clear. They've had previous owners, and I'm not talking about the DART organization. I'm talking about Mr. Leggy, who hated Caymanians as far as I'm concerned, didn't like this island very much, talked all sorts of things about us to the point where all MPs voted to stop advertising with his organization. Al then reversed that without any consultation or approval from a single member of the Legislative Assembly, who at the time, they all voted unanimously to stop advertising with the compass. Imagine that. And he reverses it, and it goes back to the good old boy network, back together again. Everybody's all kissy kissy, and they're good to go. CMR has never played by those rules, and they know that they can't buy me out. Okay, that's a problem when you're playing in this arena, because they think, wow, we can't throw money at Sandy. We can't compromise her integrity. We can't do this. We can't do that. Everybody has a price to be fair, but I have set my price so high that I doubt any of them are going to be able to reach it. Yeah, that's what you have to do in order to keep yourself on the straight and narrow. And so, as it turns out, they feel like now we cannot believe it. We cannot believe she is officially crowned the number one. It's like, where's my crown? I need to go find it. She's officially crowned the number one media source in this country, the number one talk show with a 72% listenership preferred. Those 72% of the people surveyed preferred to listen to the cold hard truth as opposed to anything else. The other talk shows primarily lost ground. One went from 25% down to 14% since last year. This is scary for these people who get on those other platforms and spew their lies because nobody's over there even listening to it. So they're pivoting. Oh my God, what are we going to do? You know, we can't let Sandy be such a force to be reckoned with. This isn't about me. This isn't about Cayman Mall Road. This is ultimately about the people of the Cayman Islands. Rest assured that I will do my part, people. I will be here for the people. I will continue to seek out truth no matter what. Don't allow them to scare you, to frighten you. They can send around as many well put together dribble as they want. That's on them. They're not shaking me. I am firm in my commitment to this community. Cayman Mall Road has never been a cookie cutter news media from day one. We are 8 years in now. Nothing is going to change in terms of that. We are here for the people, for the average person. That is my commitment. I've always said that Cayman Mall Road was a passion and not a paycheck, and I remain firm in that position. Now, you all have a choice. You'll read this stuff without a doubt, and you'll have to decide how much you want to buy into it or not. That's entirely up to you. You don't have to forward it to me. I'm good. If I've seen it once, you can believe I don't need to see it again. Y'all will ultimately have to decide where the line is going to be drawn. Are you going to continue to allow people to manipulate you, right? It's easy to talk about, oh, we're crossing the line from journalism into personal attacks. Don't confuse the two. First of all, what happens in the Cold Hard Truth? That is a talk show. That is an opinion-based talk show. Not unlike many in the US. You guys have seen politically driven talk shows that cover topics that go hard on politicians, just like what we do. The talk show is not journalism. You see how they try to cross the lines here and confuse people? That's not journalism. It's a talk show. And if I want to have an opinion about our slack and no good MPs, the messiness that they're out in these streets with, I will have my opinion. That's an opinion-based show, and I will express it. And there are times that, yes, we're going to have the after hours segment where we're going to go a little bit extra hard. And yes, I may even use some profanity, and I'm going to call them what they actually are. A number of colorful words, no doubt. That's not the website. The website is the news site. Mhm. That's 99% journalism, covering all sorts of topics in this community. We have different aspects to this platform. You don't have to like it. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to read it. You don't have to watch a talk show. You don't have to watch us on social media. Do yourselves a favor. Unfollow, unlike, don't read, don't watch. And guess what? The numbers prove what we already know, is that the vast majority of people are interested in most of what we publish. Nobody is going to agree with everything. So what? That's fine. But we bring you all sorts of different news. So whilst they're over here trying to undermine, I know, I don't know who wrote this, but I know that this is a culmination of Friday's show, which has almost 20,000 views. Go check it out. Calling out these MPs and their slackness, right? Our day numbers are growing for the talk show, even on social media. They were averaging 5,000 views each. Now that has gone up this year. There's an exponential increase in their influence in this community. And they do not like that. That's a problem for them. They're seeing this as, oh, CMR has too much power, but it's not CMR that has the power. It is the people that have the power. Prime example, Clifton Hunter sat there with moldy carpet for years. CMR finally said enough is enough, called them out, and within weeks, if not less than that, they were able to rip out all the carpet and replace tile. Your children, your asthmatic children, were getting mold spores in their lungs. Teachers and administrators at the school were out sick. Go check the sick record, and you'll see that they had a higher than normal instance of children missing school and teachers being out sick because of this health hazard. Your Department of Education, your minister, who is also the premier of this country, and Ministry of Education, did nothing about it. We have received footage, which we're going to be talking about tomorrow, of the pool in Cayman Brac that is green with algae. It does not even get cleaned at this facility that no one knows what the facility was ever built for, because it has never even been used. And yet the AC stays at 60, 65 degrees 24/7. And we, the people, are paying for that bill. And the leadership of this country wants to turn around and spend another $50 million on the BRAC for school for less than 200 kids. And we must justify that level of expense. And yet, a country that spends $200 million on education has a 76% failure rate of our elementary school students. They don't want you to focus on the real issues, because the day that you focus on the real issues, you would be voting them out of office. You would be having enough of them and their lies and their deception. Instead, they throw you a red herring. Oh, the problems in this country is CMR. The well-being of the Cayman Islands community depends on the cultivation of a media landscape that prioritizes truth, fairness, and respect. What about the truth, fairness, and respect for our children? No one has had the fortitude, the gonads, whatever you want to call it, to put in a sex offenders registry in this country to protect our children from predators. Why do you think that is? That's because too many of them are predators themselves, or they have close family members and community members that are. Every single one of them know a predator, and some of them are right up there in the Legislative Assembly. But yet they want to talk about our community should prioritize truth, fairness, and respect. What about those same principles in relation to protecting our children or elderly and other disenfranchised people in this community? When is that going to apply? When is that going to become a priority? I have to wonder. At the end of the day, folks, they don't have any impact on me. I will be just perfectly fine. We as a country may not be so. And so you've got to stand up. You've got to send a very, very clear message. Whoever had the time to sit down and write this, please find something more meaningful to do because you're not impressing anyone. Circulate it to everybody on WhatsApp. That's perfectly fine. What you're not going to do is in this moment when we should be celebrating the fact that a Caymanian owned business has been able to reach, even if it's just in numbers alone, it's certainly not financially, but have been able to reach such heights as being crowned the island's #1 news source. Isn't that amazing? It's a David and Goliath story. We have gone up against the big boys. Compass, 50 years old, millions of dollars, 30 plus staff members writing, a dedicated reporter for, court, dedicated reporter for lifestyle, dedicated photographers, videographers, all of that stuff. Ability to print their own newspaper, unlimited resources. And somehow we have managed to officially unseat them as the #1 media source in the Cayman Islands. You don't think that there's some people whose feathers are being ruffled tonight at that organization? I don't know if they're the ones behind this. And I don't really care. But I know some feathers are being ruffled. I know that they're looking at shows like the Rush Hour going, only 1% of people surveyed prefer this. Why again are we wasting money on this? We need to redeploy her and do something else. Why are we printing a newspaper and nobody's picking up, even when it's free? Those are some solid questions as an organization that I'm sure are now being asked, as rightfully they should be. So, folks, the long and short of it is this. I'm going to stay focused. Straight ahead is 2025, God's willing. The election, we're going to do what we did last year, but even better. We're going to bring you guys the slate of candidates. We're going to dissect which ones are, in my opinion, deserving of even being heard, because some of them, trust me when I tell you, when you see some of the ones that are going to declare, if they do declare, they are not worth you even listening to, because their track record is dismal. Yeah? Their track record is horrific. They will bring nothing to the table for this country. We've got to raise the bar. I'm raising the bar every single day at Cayman Mall Road, and I will continue to do so. That is my job. That's my responsibility. Like I said, you don't have to like it, just like you don't have to listen to the platform. You don't have to watch it. But it's really, really telling. They say timing, there's no coincidence in timing with certain things. This message that has gone out, there's no coincidence in timing. This is all about somebody really hurt. Well, when young people say they got butt hurt, they're in their feelings bad today. And it's not going to change the numbers. Nothing's going to happen. In fact, what they might do is push more people over to her side, because people now recognize that, there is a serious affront here. We are at war, so to speak. And sadly, they will pull out all the stops and do anything that they can to try to discredit us. So I just getting a message. Congratulations with CMR with this milestone. Let me finish reading this message to y'all. Just came into my phone. The positive message, and this is what I want to say. This person said, congratulations with this milestone as it was expected. CMR is my main source for reliable news and happenings in real time. Keep up the excellent work, and one love, Auntie Sandy. People are just too upset, quite frankly, that we have done what we have done. Somebody said, not even with a printer. It's so funny. It wasn't expected. And maybe that has caught people off guard. It wasn't expected. They didn't expect us to go anywhere, to be successful, to do anything. And let me say this to any young person out there wanting to move the needle in your community, in your industry, in your business, you can do it. There will be tons of naysayers out there, but you just need to focus, right? Have your game plan, focus on that, and all the exterior noise, because that's what it is, just block that foolishness out. That's not going to be here nor there. You stand firm in your position, and you can do it. You can do it. It has shocked them that as a one woman organization with a small team of supporters, when I mean that, I mean one person helping write, one web designer, one graphic designer, the smallest team in the world, I suppose, helping run a media house, that we have been able to reach this far. And glory to God, huh? Because trust me, that man has had my back from day one. I have been blessed beyond measure. And I'm thankful every single day. I get up and I give thanks. The journey has been real. It has been amazing. And we're going to continue. We're going to continue in honesty. We're going to continue in truth. We're going to continue in integrity. All those words that those people want to throw out there at you, right? We're going to continue in all of those things. That's what has them all upset. Wow. So amazing. Stay tuned, folks. 2024 is only getting started. It's April. We're going to be getting bigger and better and addressing more issues and doing more things. I'm actually having a meeting with one member of my team this week. We're going to be looking at all the different areas that we need to be jumping on and improving our mark on this community. We are nowhere near done. We're only just beginning. Only just beginning. Stay positive, folks. You're always going to have naysayers out there, but keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize. You guys have a wonderful day.